All right, so you've given us quite a bit to dig into here. Articles, guides, even some AI-generated interview prep on prosthetic and orthotic technicians. Looks like you're serious about this career path.
Yeah, it's definitely one I've been looking at very closely.
Well, let's unpack it together then. First things first, you flagged job security as like a major concern.
Huge concern, yeah.
And just based on like what I'm seeing here, it sounds like this field is, well, booming.
It is. It's a good field to be in if you can get into it.
So what's the story there?
People are always gonna, unfortunately, need help.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, people are always gonna need help, and as the population ages, there's more and more people that need support uh, devices, and we're getting better at treating injuries that used to be career enders. So yeah, job security I think is a big plus in this field for sure.
I mean, that's like gold dust these days.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, but what was it that actually drew you to this? Like, what is it about this career path? Because it's a mouthful, even just to say prosthetic and orthotic technician. Like, what is it about this that's so compelling?
Well, as you can imagine, it's very dynamic. It's way more dynamic than I think people realize. There's the design aspect of it,
Hmm.
and the creation aspect, and we're even using like really cutting edge technology now, like 3D printing, to make these devices. But it's not all high tech. I mean, there's still traditional craftsmanship with wood and metal, that still has a place.
Oh, interesting.
But the thing I think I find most rewarding is the patient interaction. So we get to, we fit, we adjust, we problem solve. We make sure that the device works with the patient and not against them. And then also repairs. Repairs are a huge part of it too, because these things take wear and tear, and so it's really rewarding being able to bring those things back to life for people.
So it's like this fascinating blend of like engineering and medical know-how, but it's not just, just building something. You're solving a puzzle, it seems like, with every single patient.
Yeah, it's very tailored to the individual for sure.
And then, on top of all that, there's the human element, which,
Right.
in the research that you provided, that really came out, like the emotional challenges of this work. Can you speak to that? Like, what does that actually look like day to day?
Yeah, I mean, imagine, you've just fitted a young athlete with a prosthetic leg after they've lost theirs in an accident, and it's this triumphant moment, right? Like they're walking again, but then the next week they come back and they're frustrated because they can't, quite get the hang of running yet, and there might be tears, there might be anger, and you're not just adjusting the fit, you're also managing expectations, offering encouragement. You're really kind of a cornerstone in
Oh,
their
yeah.
recovery, both, physically and emotionally, and that can be tough.
Yeah, I bet. That side of the job doesn't really get talked about a lot.
Not as much, no.
It takes a special kind of person to be able to handle those emotional, like, highs and lows.
So aside from empathy then, what other qualities do you think make a really great prosthetic and orthotic technician?
Well, attention to detail is a big one.
Oh,
You're dealing with incredibly precise measurements. I mean, even millimeters can make a difference in a device's, effectiveness or even a patient's safety. And then there's the problem-solving aspect, which we talked about a little bit. But every patient is built differently. They have unique needs, unique lifestyles.
right.
So it's like solving a complex like 3D puzzle, with every single person you see.
So adaptability has got to be like key.
Because the technology in this field is just, I mean, it's moving at warp speed. Like
Yeah.
even just that 3D printing thing, like my mind is blown. What impact has that had on the work that you do?
I mean, it's completely revolutionized what we do. Like we're talking about the ability to create, prosthetic hands that like mirror a patient's other hand down to the fingerprint. I mean, the level of customization is remarkable, leading to, more comfortable, more functional, more lifelike devices. And it's not just prosthetics either. We can do custom orthotics, braces, even bone replacements. I mean, 3D printing is changing everything.
That is incredible. It sounds like, I mean, this technology is opening up a whole new world of possibilities for patients.
Absolutely.
But it also seems like you need to be a lifelong learner, like stay on top of it all.
Oh, 100%.
What does that actually look like, practically speaking?
Conferences, workshops, new certifications. I mean, a good technician never stops learning. This field is constantly evolving, and we owe it to our patients to stay on top of it all and really offer them, the best options.
So we've established this isn't your like typical 9 to 5 desk job. It's physically demanding, emotionally intense, and you got to be constantly learning new things.
Definitely.
But on the flip side, it's in high demand, incredibly rewarding, and let's be honest, it's pretty darn cool. You're literally building like the future of mobility.
It's pretty amazing.
So how does someone even get started on this path? Is a 4-year degree the only way in?
You know, it's interesting you say that because unlike some healthcare fields, there are actually multiple entry points. You know, a 4-year degree in prosthetics and orthotics,
Right.
or even something like biomedical engineering is great. They lay a fantastic foundation. But vocational schools and apprenticeships are gaining traction.
So practical experience is king.
100%, yeah. Employers, they want to see that you can walk the walk, not just talk the talk, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, like your sources emphasized, building a portfolio early on is so important.
Yeah.
So volunteering at a clinic, shadowing a technician, even just, tinkering with small projects at home. I mean, anything that shows, passion and initiative.
That makes sense. So let's say like you're fresh out of high school, you're maybe volunteering at a clinic to get your feet wet. What's the next step? Is there like a specific certification that aspiring technicians should be like striving for?
So the gold standard really is becoming a certified orthotist, or a CPO.
Okay.
And that does require a master's degree and a residency, but, it opens doors to the highest levels of practice. Now, that being said, there are also, certified orthotic fitter and certified prosthetic technician certifications.
Okay.
And those can be, great stepping stones to a CPO or even fulfilling careers in their own right.
So there's like a real ladder you can climb,
Yeah.
starting from those like entry-level roles that you're talking about.
Mhm.
Tell me about that journey. What are some of the like key milestones and challenges maybe of climbing to like a senior technician level?
Well, reaching the junior technician level, that's a big one. You gain more independence, you're handling your own cases. You might even specialize in, a particular area like prosthetics for athletes or orthotics for children.
Wow.
The learning curve, it's steep. And you're challenged constantly to expand your skills.
Right?
But, I mean, that's also what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And what about like those at the top of their game?
Mm-hmm.
The seasoned senior prosthetic orthotic technicians. What sets those folks apart?
Senior technicians, I mean, they are the heart and soul of the field. They've honed their skills over years and years of practice. They've encountered every challenge imaginable.
Hi.
And they've developed this almost intuitive understanding of biomechanics and patient needs. They're often the ones leading teams, mentoring junior staff, and some even dive into research and development, pushing the boundaries of what's even possible in the field.
It sounds like there's a real like entrepreneurial spirit baked into this career too.
Absolutely, yeah.
But let's rewind a bit, for our listener who's maybe thinking, okay, this all sounds amazing, BUT, like
Yeah.
how do I pay for all this training? Especially since it sounds like a 4-year degree isn't the only option. The costs could really add up.
You're not wrong. That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Passion, sadly, doesn't pay the bills. The good news is there are often grants and scholarships specifically for people entering healthcare, and particularly in fields that are facing, shortages.
So it's worth digging around, doing that scholarship hunt.
Daytime, yeah.
Any tips on where to look?
Yeah, for sure. Start with, professional organizations like the AAOP, the American Academy of Orthotists and Prosthetists. Their website's fantastic. Lots of scholarships for aspiring prosthetic and orthotic professionals. Also, I'd say check with vocational schools and even individual clinics. You'd be surprised. A lot of them have their own, scholarship programs.
Great advice. Now, we've talked about technical skills, empathy, constant learning. What about like the business side of things? Is that something that every technician needs to be like concerned with?
It really depends. If you're working for like a large hospital system, they'll handle most of the business stuff. But in a smaller practice, or if you dream of like opening your own clinic someday, those business skills, they become crucial.
Right. Like, give us an example. What are some of the business challenges that someone might face running their own practice?
Marketing's a big one. Just getting the word out there, letting potential patients know that you exist and what makes your services unique. Then there's, managing finances, negotiating with suppliers, navigating the always fun world of insurance claims.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget about that.
Right. It's a different skill set for sure.
Yeah.
But for some, that's part of the appeal.
Right.
They love the autonomy and the challenge of of really building something from the ground up.
Yeah, I can see that. So it's almost like two career paths in one, right? You can be that like super technical specialist, or you can really lean into the entrepreneurial side and build a whole practice.
It really is.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and both are like equally valuable, you know,
Totally.
equally important. It's about, I think, finding the right fit for your personality and what you want your career to look like.
Speaking of finding the right fit,
Yeah.
let's say our listener is like they're ready to dive headfirst into this world, the world of prosthetics and orthotics. What would be like one resource, whether it's a book, a website, anything that you'd recommend they check out just to like really get a feel for this career path?
Oh, for sure. I always point people to the American Academy of Orthotists and Prosthetists, or the AAOP.
Okay.
Their website is amazing.
Awesome.
Patient stories, like breakdowns of different specialties. They even have a career center where you can like connect with working technicians. So
Perfect. We'll make sure to link that in the show notes for everyone listening. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here, from like the emotional roller coaster of patient care to the cutting edge tech that's like shaping the future of the field.
yeah, it's a lot.
But I feel like you always have one final nugget of wisdom before we wrap things up.
Always.
So what's your like parting advice for someone considering this path?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
This job, it's about way more than just technical skills.
Okay.
You're not just, building a device. You're building a tool that helps someone reclaim their life.
Wow.
So ask yourself, like, are you ready to be a part of that journey? Highs, the lows, the triumphs, the frustrations, because that's the heart and soul of what it means to be a prosthetic and orthotic technician,
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a question worth asking about any career path,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like, what impact do I actually want to have on the world?
Yeah.
But it hits differently in a field like this, where you are so directly involved in someone's like personal journey.
Absolutely. I mean, you're not just building a device, you're building trust, you're offering hope. It's a responsibility, no doubt, but it's also an immense privilege. And frankly, it's what makes this job so rewarding, even on the tough days,
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, what about the whole like robots taking over healthcare thing?
Right.
Is AI going to steal all the prosthetic and orthotic jobs someday?
That's the million-dollar question everyone's asking these days. And honestly, it's an exciting time to be in the field.
Okay.
Look, technology is an incredible tool, but it can't replace the human element. You know what I mean? AI can help us design more efficient prosthetics, maybe even, manufacture certain components.
Yeah.
But that final fit, that emotional support, that connection, that requires a human touch that no algorithm can replicate, at least not anytime soon.
So maybe it's less about like robots replacing humans and more about like humans and robots working together to achieve something even greater.
Now you're getting it. It's not humans versus machines. It's about how can we leverage the strengths of both to really provide, the best possible care for patients. And frankly, that's an exciting future to be a part of.
It really is. Well, we've given you a lot to think about today, from the hands-on work to the high-tech advancements, the emotional challenges to the immense rewards. This career is anything but too ordinary.
It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure, but it is incredibly rewarding.
And that's what makes it so special. It's challenging. It's constantly evolving. It demands the best of you, both intellectually and emotionally. But if you're looking for a career that matters, a career where you can genuinely make a difference, well, then maybe this is it. Maybe this is the deep dive you've been searching for.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
To our listener, considering this incredible path, we wish you the best of luck on your journey. And hey, if you ever end up, building bionic limbs, give us a call. We'd love to have you back for a follow-up.
Absolutely.
Until next time, happy diving.